Hey, this is Mr. Bus, and this video is intended for distance learners to walk you through and help you with the Royale population study activity that we did in class. So there's a YouTube link on here. It's a 20-minute video. It's really good. We actually watched it in class, and as an introduction to this, the ecology of this island, this pretty large island in Lake Superior. And so at this point, I'm just going to let you know that it would be excellent if you would just watch that before you do anything else with this video, then come back to it. So assuming, from this point, I'm going to assume that you watched that video already. And also, another resource, you don't have, this is just optional. This is in Schoology as well. It's basically a document summary report of the ecology of the wolf population and particularly the herbivores, the moose population, although wolves will eat other animals as well. But it's mostly a study of wolves and moose. And, kind of cool. There's lots of people from the video and such that are here, and, a couple Minnesota references as well. Of course, Lake Superior borders Minnesota, Michigan, Canada, and the report just kind of goes through a lot of the video as well. So if you watch the video, you've pretty much got the basics of the report. The report is just more in depth. So, and there's Royale in Lake Superior. So I'll go ahead and go back to the worksheet here. So the main idea is that from the 1900s up to about 1970, the wolves and moose had a pretty imbalanced population where wolves were the top predator and they were consuming moose. And unfortunately, with islands and small populations on islands, if there's only a few wolves on the island, you run into difficulty with sometimes they don't successfully reproduce. There can be issues with a small gene pool, inbreeding. And after 1971, the ice didn't freeze very well anymore. As you can see back in here, that there's water between, about 20 miles of water between Isle Royale and Canada there. And wolves, when it freezes in the winter, can walk across that. 20 miles isn't really that much for a wolf to travel. They travel very far, and but if it doesn't freeze, then they don't travel. So what happened was in the 1970s, they brought 10 wolves to Isle Royale. And so that's what this worksheet is looking at, an older population about 50 years ago, where in 1971 they brought 10 wolves because the population was too low. And the problem was the herbivores, the moose, were eating all of the plant material and starving and not being very healthy. And that was changing the plant vegetation on the island as well. So the video is from current. So the video is basically showing the fact that after about 50 years, the wolf population dwindled and we're down to a couple moose, we're down to just 2 wolves a couple years ago. So they decided to repopulate it with 20 or 30 wolves just recently. And so this data is older data, but it's good to look at, and it's good practice with looking at these types of kind of somewhat scary-looking rate and growth calculations from AP Bio worksheet. Like one thing that is kind of confusing as you look at it is, let me get this right here. This right there, those lowercase d's are actually like representing the Greek symbol delta, which means change. And so that's not really shown. What does that lowercase d mean on here? So that's representing change and the Greek symbol delta, but it's not being shown. And so we're going to work with specifically population growth in this table here. We'll also work with rate, and this worksheet will also go through the Rmax idea as well. And not on the formula sheet, but another idea is we'll also look at the idea of per capita and what that means for rates as well. So let's go ahead and fill out the worksheet here. When we're looking at 1971, that row is already filled out for us: 10 wolves, 2,000 moose, and then we have a number of moose born. And of course, the rate is birth minus death. So the change in the population divided by the change in time equals birth minus death for that period. So it's already done for you. 800 minus 400 minus 100 is a positive 300. And so 2,000 plus 300 is 2,300, of course. All right, but go ahead and do the next row. So we had, in this year of 1972, we had 920 moose born. So that's, added to the population. Then we had 480 eaten. So that's a minus. And we also minus 240 that starved. So 920 minus 480 minus 240 is a positive 200. What do we do with that positive 200? Okay. We add it to the starting population for that year, which would be 2,500. So that's what we're going to do all the way through here. And I'm just, as you can see, this equation looks very daunting, very scary, but it's really just saying that the change in the population over a period of time is taking the births for that period of time and subtracting the deaths for that period of time. So just go ahead and do that and check your answers. Okay. What is the rate of the wolf population change from 1972 to 1974? Okay, well, what is the rate that is defined as the amount of change over the change in time? So we're talking about, I'm saying 72 to 74. Okay. And so the population goes from 12 to 22. So 22 minus 12 equals 10. So 10 wolves, and that's a positive 10, divided by how many years? Well, 72 to 73 to 74, that's 2 years. So the rate of the wolf population change from 72 to 74, 10 divided by 2 is 5 wolves per year. I like to say rate per year, per second, per minute, per hour. I wouldn't say the rate is 10 wolves per 2 years. That just doesn't sound as right. If I say what's the rate of speed in your car, you'd say 50 miles per hour. You wouldn't say 100 miles per 2 hours. So what is the rate of the moose population change from 73 to 77? Moose population change from 73 to 77. Okay, we 1,968, 77, 1968, minus 2,500. Get my calculator here. 1968 minus 2,500 is negative 532. Should do that right. Yep. Negative 532 moose, and I'm going to divide that by the population that was. That's just negative 532. I'm sorry, thinking something else. That's negative 532, and that's how many years? 77. So that'd be 4 years. 73 to 74 is 1. To 75, 2. To 76, 3. To 77 is 4. Okay, divided by 4 equals negative 133.